This video is about electronics lesson 1 and we will be covering the scientific notation. This video is for those who want to review the scientific notation entering electronics or those who want to just learn or refresh the scientific notation. So what is the scientific notation? It's a convenient method for expressing large and small numbers, and the numbers are expressed as a product between 1 and 10 and one digit to the left and a power of 10. So we will have one digit here and then it's expressed by a power of 10. Now let's work with some examples and then I will solve one and I'll give you some examples for you to solve by yourself. All right, let's start with the first example. I will solve this one, or I will write this in scientific notation, and I'll give you some examples for you to practice. So, all right, so how would we write this in scientific notation? Well, the first thing we need to do is like our decimal, and we need one digit towards the left. That will be 1, and we need to write this 5. And after we wrote this 5, let's take a look over here. We will take the decimal place and put it here, and let's move towards the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way here. Now, we moved 5 places towards the right. Whenever we move to the right, the power will increase. So this will be to the 5th power. This is our first answer. Now I'll give you some for you to solve and practice by yourself. Now here are the problems for you to practice by yourself now that you understand how I solved this first problem. 200, 5,000, 85,000, and let me give you a big number, 3 million. All right, let's go ahead and solve these ones. All right, you can pause the video and solve it by yourself. I'll just go ahead and solve it. Now as you know, we need our decimal and we need one digit towards the left, which is 2. But as you see here, we only have a 0. So in this case, we don't need the decimal. We can simply go ahead and write times 10. But how many powers are we moving? So the decimal is supposed to be here. That's 1, 2. That's to the second. That's squared over to the second power. This is our answer. Now what about this one here? So this is what I like to do is put the decimal, and then I'll take this number and put it here, and the decimal is right here, and let's move towards the right. 1, 2, 3, and this will be to the 3rd power. Now let me know down in the comments if you're getting the same answers as I am. Here's the other example, 85,000. Okay, so we need our decimal. This 8 will be on the left side, and this 5, we need to write it over here. And now let's move towards the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 places towards the right. That's 10 to the 4th power. All right, let's solve this other one. That was 3 million. Decimal place, one digit towards the left, and as you see, we don't have any number. If we had a 1 here, we would have to write the 1. If we had a 2, we would have to write it 2. But in this case, they are all zeros, so we don't need to write. We don't need the decimal place. And let's go ahead and write times how many is the power of 10. So let's move towards the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's to the 6th power. Alright, as you see, the scientific notation is very convenient for expressing large numbers. Now let's move on to expressing small numbers, because in electronics we will see small numbers a lot of times. Alright, I'll go ahead and solve the first one, and then I'll give you some practice problems for you to solve by yourself. Here's the first one, 0.00022. Alright, so let's use the rule, which we need the decimal point and one digit towards the left. So look over here. Here we have the two numbers and we need one digit towards the left. And we will pick this one over here because we only need one digit towards the left, and then we take this 2 and we put it here. The decimal place is supposed to be over here, so let's move towards the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we stop at this decimal place. So this will be 10, but in this case we are writing -4 because we're moving to the left. This number is really small, but expressing it in this way, it looks less complicated to remember. That's why the scientific notation is very, very convenient. Now I'll give you some examples for you to solve by yourself. Pause the video and try solving them. Here's 1, 0.2, 0.005, 0.00063, and 0.000015. Right? Pause the video and try solving them by yourself. I'll go ahead and solve it and you can check if we got the same answers. I might also do some mistakes, so just let me know down in the comments if I did a mistake. Okay, so we need the decimal point and one digit towards the left. The only number available here is 2, so let's put 2 here. And now as you see, we have no number over here, so we don't really need the decimal place over here, and let's write it as a power of 10 over here. So here is the decimal place, so we need to move and count the number of zeros, that is 1. So that will be -1 since we're moving towards the left. Now here's another example, 0.005. I always like to write the decimal point and then write the number that I need to be on the left side. And our decimal, is supposed to be here. That's 1, 2, 3. That will be to the third power, -3. And we don't need the decimal place. But a decimal place helps you not make any mistakes. Here's the other problem. Check your answer. I'll put the point here, and this number, I'll take this number because I will need one number towards the left. And here, this 3, we need to write it over here, and the decimal place goes here. Let's move towards the left 1, 2, 3, 4 places. That will be to the -4. Now here's the final problem. Let's put the decimal place. Let's take the 1. And one thing I've seen a lot is students write this like this, 1, 5. As you see, this is not one number towards the left. We only need one number towards the left. So the number that we need is 1. And then let's write this 5 over here. So that is 1.5. And let's move towards the left. Let's count the number of places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be 10 to the -5. Right, so this was a quick review of the scientific notation. If you like this video, please let me know down in the comments. Give it a like, and we'll see you on the next lesson, which will be lesson 2.